Welcome to the Power Lunch Podcast, your midday dose of boldness, brilliance, and a little bit of badassery. I'm Amy Sousa, here with my powerhouse co-hosts, Tracie Munce and Lisa Carmichael, and we're coming in hot to shake things up. Each week, we dish out bite-sized, high-impact conversations on business, health, purpose, wealth, and the wild, beautiful chaos in between. Whether you're building your dream, rebooting your story, or just catching your breath, this is your space to get grounded, inspired, and reignited. This isn't just another podcast, it's your power move. Let's go.
Today's episode, we're back with Maggie Judge because we have so much more to talk about with Maggie. Again, she's the founder of Tools for Life. Maggie has built a powerful bridge between personal development and professional success. Her work supports both individuals and organizations in reclaiming their time, energy, and joy, reminding us that we matter just as much as the goals that we're chasing. So today we're going to continue on from our last episode. If you didn't listen to Maggie on the first episode, go back and take a listen because that was such a great conversation. Today, we're going to dive into mindset, momentum, and what it really means to lead from within. Maggie, your journey from corporate to coaching is bold. Tell us a little bit more about that move.
Well, I touched on this in the last, that my workaholism was just all corporate for me, and Roxy, my inner critic, was as loud as can be. And I thought after 21 years of the exhausting cycle, because I'm a quick learner, right? 21 years of it, I was going to leave and become an entrepreneur, and I thought that would give me all the freedom in the world. But Roxy came with me. And so that turned into just being a workaholic for myself. And I had my own consulting business, and I was still doing all the things, doing hustle. I didn't know who I was without the achieving. And then that led to the wake-up call, which then really, in the process of discovering my life philosophy, loving yourself forward every day, I had to figure out how to show up for me. And that helped me determine what work I wanted to show up for. So that's what led to Love Me Healing, which helped women navigate, which has led to Tools for Life, which is really about helping women entrepreneurs do more with thriving in both taking care of themselves and their work.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah, taking care of themselves and their work.
I have a question real quick.
Yes.
So can you back up a little bit? Because obviously getting a diagnosis of breast cancer can be really overwhelming, but you must have already had tools that you were doing. Were you doing anything in the personal growth space? Were you a journaler, or because of in the last episode, you talked about 5 hours that you were getting chemo, that you started to journal and started to discover yourself. Yes. What had you done? Like, there's some women out there that this is their entry to personal growth, right? I've been doing it for pretty close to 6 years now, pretty religiously, and I've deep dived. And I'm guessing that you two have done some deep dives, right? Yes. Because you had some downtime. What were some of the first things you did even before this that kind of set you up for where you're at today?
It's kind of laugh at myself in that because I became a personal development junkie. I was reading all the books, I was listening to all the podcasts, I was doing all of the journaling. I would ask my dear friend Tiffany, who is amazing at journaling, give me some more prompts, help me journal and go deeper and all the things, right? But I was intellectualizing it all. I wasn't harvesting it.
That's right.
And so it became, I felt like I was just on a new rat race of learning the next thing on how to take care of myself or how to develop myself. And so it became it wasn't inauthentic because I was learning to do it.
Right. Yeah. We have to start with knowledge, right?
Right.
And then it goes emotional, then it goes embodying. So tell us more about the knowing. What are some of the things, like, was there a specific book that you read? Was there one that was like you must read this book?
I would say Glennon's Untamed Heart. Is it Untamed
Glennon Doyle.
Heart?
Glennon Doyle,
yes. And just went to see her at the State Theater last week. It was amazing. Untamed Heart, yes, you must read. I also love, I'm a Brene Brown, that's where my 4 Ps was inspired from too. But she also I'm a Brene Brown, that's where my 4 Ps was inspired from too. But she has and I'm not going to remember the name, but we can maybe put it in the show notes. She has an assessment, a free assessment on her site that actually helps you look at different aspects where you are on a certain spectrum across different ways you show up for yourself. And I thought it was genius, and it really, really helped me think through perfectionism, and all the 4 Ps were somewhere in that. And so it was a lot of reading her. Mel Robbins was a big inspiration for me. And then I'm so blessed to have a very strong, what I call my soul sister network. And we come together and we talk about it. We hold each other accountable. We Marco each other all the time and share.
Marco is an app.
Marco Polo.
It's an
video app.
Yeah,
I love it.
Video app.
So though I would say, does that answer your question?
It does, because I think so often, there's so many modalities to start the process, right? And then also I think that we can sit here and, we're all a few years into this work. So sometimes women can look and go, but I'm not as far as you. Right? And they really just want to know, where do I start? Right? And the 3 steps to mastery really is knowing it, feeling it, and then embodying it.
Yes.
And there's something that happens between the feeling and the embodying that is so profound. Like you don't even know it's happening, but when it happens, it's like, oh, right? So if you're in the knowing stage, just keep going is what I'm saying, because that embodiment stage is it's such an up level.
I love that you brought in that embodiment piece, and I feel another big, huge shift for me was the embodiment came from even listening in my dreams. I used to never remember my dreams, but getting up right away and talking them into ChatGPT and analyzing them, and I was learning so much from my subconscious self during the dreams.
I just had one today and journaled about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, there it is, right? Like,
yes, it's so full of meat. And I love how you talk. Too often I wouldn't feel the feel unless I could name the feel. And then I would get paralyzed because I don't know what this feeling is. So then I'm just gonna keep it in here? If I can't name it, I'm just. So feeling the feels, regardless of what they are or whether you understand them or not, leads to also that whole embodiment piece. Yeah.
How about you, Lisa? Does that resonate at all?
Oh, yeah, it definitely resonates. So feel the feels. Tell me a little bit more about that. Is that tears? Does it include tears?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Tears, yelling, screaming, being in the car, yelling at your inner critic.
Yeah. We have great conversations. Yes. I think though, when I was, there's something about what happens when you go into the feeling part of it, the from knowing to feeling. I started to not have to say, my coach says this.
Yes.
Right? It's the I know this, right? It was no longer your knowledge that I was basing everything off. It was that I started to see me showing up as the knowing. So the more I started to show up and celebrate myself, like, ooh, look at that. You just implemented something that you were taught, so now it's mine.
Okay, I love that, and I have to share one other modality that changed things for me, and that was going to a somatic healer. And the reason that was so powerful to me is related to what you just said, in that I would talk from a place of knowing all the things I learned I need to do, I'm trying to do, all the things, right? She did an exercise with me where she had me literally ground into, imagine roots down into the ground and whatnot. Right. And the long story short is she saw that when I leave my body, I'm most comfortable. When I stay in my body, I am not. And so the listening to myself and sitting in quiet was really uncomfortable. So I was trying to find all the things that were not that.
The things that keep you busy, Amy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very busy.
Yeah, and that's the beyond the busy, right? And I just, there are every single person this looks different for.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So to your point, when we're comparing to our friends, well, they're really good comparing to our friends. Well, they're really good at journaling. They're really good at meditating. They're going to see a therapist. It's like,
Right. And the whole, I'm not a journaler.
yeah,
Well,
yes.
anything that you put I am with, chances are you're not going to be that, right? And that's one of those glass ceiling moments, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a journaler. I wasn't a journaler when I started. In fact, I skipped most of 8th grade, or maybe it was 9th, it could have been 10th, language arts. I mean, like, I don't even remember going to language class. I had a teacher tell me that I was the worst writer in the world. So for me to start writing in a journal was, again, walking through that door of fear, because first off, I don't want anybody to know what I'm actually thinking. Ooh,
Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah.
And secondly, I'm the worst writer in the world. So it's the starting of some of those things. And the minute you put a disempowering belief with an I am statement, that's when we have to stop ourselves,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
That awareness that Lisa talks about.
Amy, are you a journaler? Do you journal?
I am not a journaler. No.
Would you like to be?
I would love to be. I was not a reader until I met you ladies either.
Because readers
Oh,
are leaders.
But now I'm a listener.
Amy, did you say you were a perfectionist?
Yes.
So I'm just going to encourage you with the journaling. That was the number one thing that had to go, because if I didn't have the right colored markers, I was not going to journal.
That's exactly, yes.
I love it.
A pen or
I
pencil
always
works.
write with either an Egan Armour or a Merlin's Rest pen,
I love
because
it.
that locks me back into what my anchor of being a successful business owner. So I write with one of my Merlin's Rest, and I do have a Mont Blanc that I got for Christmas, because I remember writing with Stilo the first time, and I was like, you are going to write such beautiful words.
I love it.
So
Sometimes I write in black ink, sometimes I write in blue ink. It depends on what.
but never in red.
What you have to say?
No, yeah.
To say?
No, yeah, no, I never write in red. No. Do you ever go back and read your journals?
I do.
There's
rare, but I love
controversy about that.
Yeah.
If you should read them or let them go.
I am always amazed when I go back at either, okay, I'm still working on that, or, wow, have I
Such
come a
good-
long way.
Good pattern recognition.
Yeah.
Right? To see those patterns, like, why am I in this loop? It's different names, but same. I think. Definitely read it.
Yeah.
I think you should read them once a year, though. Like, I try to read mine. January is my take, like, release the last year and get into the new year. So I don't do anything in January. February is when I start my new year, really, and I read all of my journals.
Yeah.
Vulnerable. And it was when you left corporate and you thought becoming an entrepreneur was going to solve everything for you, but it didn't. What did you notice about that? Or what do you, looking back at that now, it was Roxy probably telling you the same message that she was telling you when you were corporate versus being your own boss. But I know there's a lot of other women, a lot of female entrepreneurs that experience that. So what advice would you give to someone who's just starting?
Oh, that's a great question. And I do remember feeling like it was just that never enough mindset, right? Because when you're an entrepreneur, you said it earlier, it's such a lonely job and we wear so many hats. So this gets back to the asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of you can't do it. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of you can't do it. There's just things that your sweet spots serve. So it's finding that and then reaching out for help. And what I was shocked about, because in a lot of cases when I talk to a lot of my clients as entrepreneurs, it's like, I can't afford a VA, or I can't afford to hire a copywriter, or I can't afford. And that's obviously a scarce mindset, right? And it's almost like the I am along those lines. But when you reach out for help and when you open up to the possibilities, it's amazing who will rally and what comes forward to you. And it's not like you're all of a sudden going to have a team magically. I'm not suggesting that. But it actually softens that inner critic of never enough as well. because you're recognizing the things. You can't do it all. You can't wear all the hats, and I mean, we do,
Right.
but and expect your bar to be way up here and get it all done. So it is befriending that inner critic, but it's also figuring out how it's the practicing life, because each day some days are going to be really hard, some days are going to be full of opportunities, and somewhere in the middle.
Befriending your inner critic or having empathy for your inner critic?
I think befriending, because empathy means, well, to me, that would just be letting her sit over here as is and holding that empathy, whereas befriending her, I want to make her I want to make her my cheerleader.
Yeah. Amy, how do you restore yourself, recharge yourself on a daily basis?
On a daily basis.
Or what would you like to do if you had a crystal ball?
I actually do restore myself on a daily basis. I schedule in my stretch lab appointments once a week, which is 50 minutes of my time. And my gym sessions, I make sure I get to the gym 3 times a week.
That's awesome. How about you, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm with Amy. It's a mind-body experience for me. I have to take care of my mind, I have to take care of my body, and I also have to take care of my soul. So those 3 things, I don't know what I just said, but mind, body, soul.
Yeah.
It's, if we don't take care of those...
So you schedule in your time?
Oh, I schedule in my time. Yeah.
Which I find fascinating, because as Amy was just talking about, her calendar, right? And I'm thinking of the woman out there that's like, I'm so busy, I'm a single, I'm a single mom, and I have this business, or, my boss is always yelling at me, or I'm working 3 jobs, and I want to, so what are we saying to her, right? Like, schedule, make sure that you make it a priority, but what are some other recharge, like, I always use this example, like, people will say, well, I go get my nails done, right? But then they're on their phone the whole time, or they're stressing about the fact that it's taking too long. That's not recharge. That's you looking nice or doing something.
It's multitasking.
It also doesn't have a purpose towards whatever you're going for, right? Other than, people look at your nails and think, oh, those are pretty, right? Like, they don't make our nails grow longer or anything like that. So it's really not about self-care. That's about ego. Full stop. I love anybody that has their nails done. I'm no shade, but that's what it is. It's about me filling that part of me. So what does recharge look like versus self-care?
For me, recharge was first identifying which things brought me joy or helped me sit in stillness, and nature is a massive one for me. When I'm out in nature, when I either hear the birds sing or I'm sitting by, in, or on water, that is instant calm for me, and then it's easier to go inside and just sit in the stillness and connect with me. And that's what it's about for me, is the recharge is about connecting with me and finding those ways. Another one is to color. And it ties to playful, but coloring I used to love when I was little, but I never give myself the time. I wasn't giving myself the time to do it, but that creative, quiet time to just, it's a creative outlet, and it's I love it. And then the other one I will say that I love is meditation. It's a non-negotiable for me, and I struggled at first, so I would do guided meditations, which helped me stay out of my head, because I was listening to someone else tell me where to go, whether it was follow my breath or and now I'm to the point where I can do it in silence, and if I do it outside, it's even better. Those are my big.
Love it. Yeah. I have many things to say about meditation, Lisa.
Do I have something to say about meditation?
Oh, I have many things to say about meditation, but what is, like, you, specifics, right? Like, let's be specific for these women that are listening to us, right? What are some ideas for recharge?
I would highly encourage a listener to grab a notebook and just start writing without any boundaries, and just see what comes out. Find a book, find a spiral notebook, and just find out what it is that you're saying to yourself, because the world is so noisy. There's Facebook, there's ideas, LinkedIn. But if you can just grab that piece of paper and you can start listening to what you want to say, that's so freeing. Because yeah, your inner child wants to be heard. You're not letting her speak up.
Can I build on that idea quick?
Yeah, let it.
I spent 30 days recently, and I wrote letters from God to me. So every day I opened up a blank page, and it was, Dear Maggie, but it was a letter from God. And when you think about it from that perspective, you have to realize you'd start to write something that your inner critic might influence, and it's like, God would never say that to me.
That's right.
So that lens on that just dump out thoughts.
Yeah. When I first started journaling, and I do it still today, is I write every word that I'm thinking. Like, I'm sitting here in my house and the birds are outside. Like, I write everything, because what I found is it takes me almost 10 minutes before I get past my consciousness and I go into my heart.
Ooh, I love that you have that.
I have, and I also set a timer. So because there's so many things that come up when I'm journaling, that it's like, oh, I need to do this. Oh, but I need to check this, right? So if I have a timer set and I set it for, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I try to do 45 whatever time I have, and I set it, and that's what I do. The other thing that I do that really is two things, restoration, is in the morning, when I open my eyes, I immediately say a prayer. Right? Because if I lay there long enough, Judy's coming. Or Linda's coming. Right?
Yeah.
Linda's coming for me.
We haven't heard about yet.
Yeah, there's a Judy in there too. But Linda's coming, right? Because she's going to start telling me all the things I have to do today. Right? And then the other thing that I do almost on a daily basis is on YouTube. Jason Stevenson is a nighttime fall to sleep guided meditation. And a friend had a challenge with me like 4 years ago. And she said, for 30 days, listen to this meditation for 30 days. And it's different meditation every night. You just YouTube.
And it's live.
I don't know. Is it live?
Sometimes I go on at night and it's live.
Well,
it's
Jason
crazy.
Stevenson, it's like a 6-hour meditation. You just,
How do you do 6 hours of meditation?
Well, you fall asleep to it.
Yeah. I mean, him.
Oh, yeah. How do you?
Oh, in the world.
Right. But
Male
it's changed everything, because it changes the way I dream. Because my subconscious is hearing that peaceful, calm music.
Well, it takes your mind off of everything that when I can't sleep at night, it's because my mind won't stop functioning. Right. It won't stop swirling. And something like that, a meditation turns
really low, so you have to, your mind start, I gotta hear it, like, what's going on over there? So I put it really low, so that my consciousness is like,
I want to add one more thing with my comments is, one thing that's been super, super helpful is to lean into my pain, kind of like what you were talking about before, with the tears, lean into the tears. What is causing me to feel that emotion? And I've told my kids this so many times, that tears are divine essence. It's, just like rain waters soil so that your plants can grow. The tears are watering those emotions so that you can grow as a person.
I love that.
Yeah. So let's talk, Maggie. When our listeners want to find you, it's toolsforlife.com. Toolsforlife, LYFE.com. Is that right?
That is correct.
That's where we can find you.
That's where you can find me. And I will say, I'm going to say to each of us, but also our listeners, imagine if, how many women do we know out there shining their light? Many women entrepreneurs stepping into their purpose, shining their light. Imagine if their light was just a little bit brighter.
I love
because
that.
they were showing up for themselves along with hustling through the
Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. If something we shared sparked a new idea, gave you a fresh perspective, or simply made you feel seen, we'd love for you to pass it on. Share this episode with a friend, a colleague, or a fellow powerhouse woman who's walking her own journey. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Until next time, keep showing up, keep rising, and remember, there's no ceiling you can't break through.